I know everybody in here wants to cut down on gun violence, and everybody in here wants to never see another school shooting or never see another mass shooting. We do have, I think, some pretty strong philosophical disagreements on how we get there. I would start out by saying it is never about the gun. It is never about the gun. It is about the character of the person holding that gun. We just recently saw right down in Texas a situation where a gun was used for evil when an individual began to open fire in a church setting and kill people, and an immediate response from an individual who knew what they were doing with a firearm, a lawfully carrying American citizen who stopped that violence instantly. And God only knows how many people in that church would have died had that individual not been armed in that situation. He instantly eliminated the threat, as we called it in law enforcement. Nobody wants to kill anybody, but you have to eliminate a threat when you've got innocent citizens being threatened. So we have an example right there. So somebody made a statement, or a couple of people made statements about nothing in this bill is about the safety of children or the health and safety of Iowans. Not true. I happen to believe that gun-free zones is an invitation to crazy people, an invitation to sick people, because nobody that has ever done a mass shooting has obeyed the law, because it is illegal to kill people. Nobody that wants to do this sort of thing is going to be stopped by a sign. And that's what I've never understood. Anybody believe that a sign is going to stop a sick individual who has decided to murder innocent people? What it will do is stop law-abiding citizens from carrying their firearms into that situation, and it makes them a shooting gallery for sick individuals. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, about the health and safety of all Iowans. Because I obey the law, and I have a permit to carry, and when there's a sign up that says I can't carry in that area, I don't carry in that area. And that is one less individual who is trained with a firearm and knows exactly what to do if somebody opens fire, as we saw in Texas. So people say there's no data. Open your eyes, folks. It happened right down in Texas just a few weeks ago, where an individual opened fire in a church, started killing individuals, and it was immediately stopped by a law-abiding citizen who knew how to use his firearm and exercise his Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms. So it's there. And that's what this is about. So when somebody says this is not about the safety of children or the health and safety of Iowans, I fundamentally disagree. And that is why I support this legislation. And I believe it is not a solution in search of a problem. I think Second Amendment rights of Iowans are protected. This is not Virginia, and it isn't going to become Virginia. So there are several reasons this bill is needed. First of all, it is clear that a patchwork of ordinances and regulations varying from county to county, or even city to city within a county, would make it nearly impossible for law-abiding citizens exercising their Second Amendment rights to know if they're legal or not as they travel about the state. A patchwork of differing requirements would also be an infringement on the Second Amendment rights of our citizens. Preemption is also necessary as it pertains to regulating gun ranges, and I did hear you on what you said, and we're gonna look into that and fix that. But there could be political motivations by those hostile to Second Amendment rights, and this cannot be allowed to prevent a gun range in a safe area to be allowed to be opened or improved. The same principles apply to modifications of firearms and accessories. These issues need to be handled on the state level. Otherwise, we have law-abiding citizens. They're legal in one county. Whoops, they're not legal in this county. They're legal in one city. Whoops, they're not legal in this city. Anybody that's being intellectually honest here can see that these are the type of issues that need to be handled on the state level. If a political subdivision wishes to restrict the Second Amendment rights of its citizens in a particular building or structure, then most certainly it should be incumbent upon them to ensure compliance and provide security, since they strip that citizen's ability to defend themselves in that situation. So that, I think, is common sense as well. The same principle applies to courthouses. And again, this bill does not prevent the courthouses under the jurisdiction of the judiciary from not allowing firearms into those rooms, because that is under their jurisdiction. Second Amendment rights are sacred. As we move the resolution to enshrine Second Amendment rights in our Constitution through the process, we must continue to ensure that the right to keep and bear arms is consistently protected throughout the state, and that we do not have a patchwork of differing rules and regulations. I think House Study Bill 615 is an important step in ensuring that consistency and protection of our citizens' Second Amendment rights. And I did hear some really valid concerns here on a couple of issues, which we will deal with as we move the bill forward. So thank you all for coming today.